Introduction to The Highland Lassie by Robert Burns by Alexander Whitlaw. This charmingly natural effusion was written by Burns early in life in honor of his afterwards to-be immortalized Highland Mary. It is given in the second volume of Johnson's Museum, adapted to an old reel tune called MacLaughlin's Scots Measure, but it may also be sung to the tune of Green Grove Rashes. My Highland Lassie, says the poet, was a warm-hearted, charming young creature as ever blessed a man with generous love. After a pretty long trial of the most ardent reciprocal attachment, we met by appointment on the second Sunday of May. In a sequestered spot on the banks of Ayr, there we spent the day in taking a farewell before she should embark for the West Highlands to arrange matters among her friends for our projected change of life. At the close of autumn following, she crossed the sea to meet me at Greenock, where she had scarce landed when she was seized with a malignant fever, which hurried my dear girl to her grave in a few days before I could ever hear of her illness. Cromwell adds a few particulars of the final interview of the youthful lovers. This adieu was performed with all those simple and striking ceremonials which rustic sentiment has devised to prolong tender emotions and to inspire awe. The lovers stood on each side of a small purling brook. They laved their hands in the limpid stream, and holding a Bible between them, they pronounced their vows to be faithful to each other. They parted never to meet again. Cromwell's account of this parting interview was considered somewhat apocryphal, till, a good many years ago, a pocket Bible in 2 volumes presented by Burns to Mary Campbell was discovered in the possession of her sister at Ardrossan. The Bible afterwards found its way to Canada, whence the family had removed, and having excited the interest of some Scotsmen at Montreal, they purchased it. For its possessors were unfortunately in reduced circumstances, and had it conveyed back to Scotland with a view of being permanently placed in the monument at Ayr. On its arrival at Glasgow, Mr. Weir, stationer, Queen Street, through the instrumentality of whose son we believe the precious relic was mainly produced, kindly announced that he would willingly show it for a few days at his shop to any person who might choose to see it. The result was that thousands flocked to obtain a view of this interesting memorial, and the ladies, in particular, displayed an unwonted eagerness regarding it, some of them even crying on beholding an object which appealed so largely to female sympathies. On the anniversary of the poet in 1841, the Bible, enclosed in an oaken glass case, was permanently deposited among other relics in the monument at Ayr. On the broads of one of the volumes is inscribed in Burns' handwriting, "And ye shall not swear by my name falsely, I am the Lord." Levit chapter 19 verse 12. And on the other, "Thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord mine oath." St. Matt chapter verse 33. And on the blank leaves of both volumes, Robert Burns' Moshe. A monument, the expense of which was defrayed by public subscription, is now erected over the grave of Highland Mary in Greenock churchyard. The foundation stone of it was laid on the anniversary of the birth of the poet in 1842. The Highland Lassie by Robert Burns. Nay, gentle dames, though e'er sae fair, shall ever be my muse's care. Their titles all are empty show. Gie me my Highland Lassie, oh! Within the glens, bushy, oh, upon the plains, rushy, oh, I set me down wi' right good will to sing my Highland Lassie, oh. Oh, were yon hills and valleys mine, yon palace and yon gardens fine, the world, when the love should know, I be my Highland Lassie, oh. Within the glen, the bushy o, aboon the plains the rushy o, I set me down wi right good will to sing my Highland lassie o. But fickle fortune frowns on me, and I maun cross the raging sea. But while my crimson currents flow, I love my Highland lassie o. In the glens the bushy o, aboon the plains the rushy o, I set me down wi right good will to sing my Highland lassie o. Although through foreign climes I range, I know her heart will never change, for her bosom burns with honour's glow, my faithful Highland lassie o. Within the glens the bushy o, aboon the plains the rushy o, I set me down wi right good will to sing my Highland lassie o. For her I'll dare the billows row, for her I'll trace a distant shore. Met Indian wealth may lustre throw around my Highland lassie o. Within the glens the bushy o, aboon the plains the rushy o, I set me down wi right good will to sing my Highland lassie o. She has my heart, she has my hand, by sacred truth and honour's band. Till the mortal stroke shall lay me low, I'm thine, my Highland lassie o. Farewell the glens the bushy o, farewell the plains the rushy o. To other lands I now must go, to sing my Highland lassie